Vassals of the great Tsarina Catherine, it's good to see you again. For those of you that missed the last episode, you should definitely check it out. We had an amazing battle here in Stockholm, which, as you can imagine, we did pretty well at. The problem is, of course, we are at war with Poland, and we're also at war with Persia. Now, with our Persian front down here, what I'm trying to do is actually get this army, led by our friend Alexander Vasilyevich Surovov, down here into Azerbaijan. Now, if we could take Azerbaijan, that would be tremendous, but you could see just all of the land here that we could take from the Persians. Of course, taking Baghdad would be absolutely amazing, even especially during this time period, and would pretty much secure us the Persian Empire. I'm not sure I really want to go for them first. The Polish are the ones that really concern me, so we're doing everything we can to raise a force in time, but it's easier said than done. Our main force, of course, being up there in Sweden, and our secondary army being down there in the Persian area, so it's going to be quite difficult. I guess it would be actually modern-day Dagestan. It's going to be difficult to push through those areas, and especially with the Polish attacking us, this is going to be a challenge. Let's just see what they do. It's their turn. Okay, not much movement, thank goodness. And hopefully we can begin our march next turn. We're still waiting on an additional infantry unit, and I'm probably going to go ahead and let him arrive at our actual location. Now, we do have some rioting in Sweden, and I have decided that I do want to keep this place. It's going to bring in a tremendous amount of income. It's going to be our second base of operations, really. So I'm going to pretty much rebuild Stockholm entirely. Hope for the best, of course, and prepare for the worst. Now, in preparing for the worst, I think we should probably get this army down. We've got 3 units being built next turn. We can also get this unit into this army. And finally, our Dagestan force is ready to leave for Persia, and hopefully ready to be quite successful here in our attacks. Now, there's not much else we can do. One thing we're really trying to do, I'm getting my gentlemen up here, we're going to turn this into a college. In fact, you know what? We need to do that now. We can't keep waiting for that. So let me get rid of the naval board for now. I'll have to get rid of the gunnery school as well. And let's get that college up. That's going to be so important. So school time. We'll have our gentlemen go there once the actual school is built. In the meantime, you know what? We can also try just recruit some additional forces here for this army. They seem to be mostly okay. We're just kind of touching it up a bit. I think actually the better thing to do would be to look for a farm or some sort of fur trading area and build that up. These fur posts are invaluable. Alright, end the turn. Fingers crossed. And again, a very large army now also at St. Petersburg. Maybe we're going to take that one and go straight for Warsaw. Of course, first we have to hit Lithuania, which is where the Polish have their initial force, but we want to get to Warsaw soon. Doesn't look like they have anything resembling a navy, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, I take that back. The second I said that, it's like they were listening to the video. They immediately cut off one of our ports.
Rebellions grow in strength over time.
Okay, folks. So it looks like we might have a rebellion in Sweden. Nope, we're okay. We're okay. And in fact, this is looking great, guys. Look at this, a market. Look at the amount of actual income this will bring us for 4,000, however. It's not going to be cheap. But I'm absolutely going to exploit this, as well as our farmland. We need to make sure that we're making a nice profit here, folks. And let's just be glad that the Georgians are our allies and not our enemies, because they're looking quite strong right now. We're going to head south with our army immediately into Persia. We call this the Great Persian Foray, and we're going straight for Azerbaijan. Of course, we're going to hit that town on the way at Baku, but we don't have a full army here, so whatever happens, well, happens. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and recruit some just standard troops. I actually wanted to just get garrison troops. Yeah, let's do something like that. And now, west. Now, down here is where we have the Swedish rebellion. We also have a Danish force. The Danes, however, are on our side against the Swedes, so this is a great opportunity to just march right out, smash that army in two, and get back to the fighting. It's a beautiful victory. I think they'll go ahead and be destroyed on their own. However, now, of course, we have to rebuild this force once again. I'm just going to go ahead and grab those hussars, put them in that force, and get back to Stockholm as soon as possible. Make sure that our navy can't mess around with the enemy a bit here. Let's attack their navy. Okay, we're going to wait right here. If they exit, they're going to have to face our ships, and hopefully we get a nice, easy victory. Back to the Persian campaign. Well, we just have to wait till the next turn. Alright, folks, here we go.
There are currently no...
Not good. Not good. We've now got the Polish attacking. It's just small forces, but of course it can cause a big problem. He's going to try to take Belarus and Volhynia from us, the grand city of Minsk. So this is bad, and this is why we got the second army out. I'm going to head southwards, going straight to try and save the city of Minsk. It's a big deal at this time period especially. Very, very big deal to lose something like Minsk. I'm going to go ahead, hit the enemy here at Baku. I'm going to hit them in their farm regions, and we are going to hang out right here. Hopefully, the Persians will just go ahead and attack us so that we don't have to actually besiege that city. But the fact is, the Tsarina is expecting a gift, and that gift is Persian territory. Now, over here, let's go ahead. We'll give one last smash here to the Swedish revolutionaries, and a victory, guys. It also looks like our general, Count Dernyachov, got a superior general trait, and... well, the Chechnya, Dagestan, that we don't have to worry about. And he also got the Corporal in Gold Braid trait, which gives him plus morale in battles and +1 to command when leading infantry units. And look at that. It's just beautiful. We can see the green. This is all Russia. Of course, one thing we desperately need to do is immediately start rebuilding this army. One thing I really love about this entire sort of series is just the fact that we actually have to keep these armies stocked like real forces during this time period. It's not just as simple as like, oh, you know, there we go, we get new forces immediately. It's going to take time to actually build up these forces, and I think given some time, we're going to need to send over some additional units over here from the capital. I'm actually going to get another general prepared, get him ready for the fight, and we shall end the turn. I hope we get a battle here before the end of the campaign. I need to show the Tsarina's strength in a good old-fashioned fight, and I'm hoping it's going to be against the Polish, but they don't seem to have enough forces to really give us a true battle. Now, the Austrians want to train Transylvania for Ukraine. I'm going to say a big no to that, although we know what they want now. We know what they're looking for, and that's the last thing we're going to give them. Here we go. Okay, good news. Poland didn't attack. We also have an additional gentleman here. We're going to start making him head over here to get to our college. Speaking of our college, let's see if she's built yet. She is, guys. Look at this. So we're going to go ahead, begin to build the college. We've got the school up, so we can begin focusing on other things. I love the new model bayonet drill. There's so many great things here. I think I'm going for the seed planting drill, though, although it's 16. It's going to take quite some time to get it. Government by consent. Now, that's not something the Russians are interested in, but division of labor. This would actually get +4 per turn to town wealth, +10 wealth generated by industrial buildings, and allow us to build the coffee warehouse, the tobacco warehouse, spice port, tea warehouse. For this, though, we're probably going to have to eventually end up trying to go and colonize somebody. I'm not sure how that's going to work for us. In the meantime, I am going to go ahead, and it looks like we can attack immediately against the enemy forces here in Azerbaijan. I think we're going to go for the battle, guys. Let's get right into it. Well, a rainy day. Of course, this is to be expected. I am going to go ahead and have the artillery deploy. The reason being, we're not going to get the artillery much closer to the city. This is going to be sufficient. We're going to get our infantry, really, to focus on the forces in the city. So let's get right here to the edge of the woods. I'm just sending some of our men forward. We're going to send some more over here, although it will be risky. The movement up is going to be risky, of course, but look at these boys. Do they look prepared for battle? I think so. Ready to take down some Dagestanis, well, in this case, actually Persians, in the area of Dagestan. Let's keep going. Actually, now we're much farther south than Dagestan. Now, there's a reason I'm bringing that additional group of infantry over, and that's because I think we need more than one group to hold off this enemy. If we need to, we can get into square formation. The enemy's got some camels, etc. But they've also got a tremendous amount of orta and or armed populace, militia units here. If they're going to beat us, they're going to beat us with numbers, not necessarily with skill or anything like that. So here we go. Just put them right there. Put our second force right there. I want to make sure that they are running into position. And look at that. We've got the camel gunners approaching. We're going to start engaging the camel gunners. Chateauneuf camel gunners immediately. And just set up our forces right here. Probably not a bad idea to get our cavalry prepared as well. Come on, boys. Come on now. Come on. Get that shot. Get the shot. Amazing that they managed that. They did manage it, though. And here we go. We're going to try to move this 14th Regiment of Foot in there quickly, very quickly. Let's take a look at our cavalry over here. And right away with the cavalry, I'm going to try to break that right side of the enemy line. Napoleon's advice is always to use flank cavalry attacks in any situation when you're able to. And that's what we're doing right now. We're also going to begin firing at the armed populace here. Prepare to shoot. It's a terrible, terrible Russian accent. I do much better than that typically. Alright, come on. Come on, get there into position. There we go. Devastating fire there. I'm going to turn and fire with the guys that actually have carbines here. There we go. And just fall back once again. We're falling back, falling back. Let them come to our line if they'd like to. All right. The fight in the woods continues. Let's bring up this these two infantry units. I think we could almost certainly take them out right here very quickly. Let's see how our men are dealing with those orta. Yeah, not easy, but our men have had combat training. They've got their bayonets at the ready. Hopefully they can knock the enemy down here. Alright, let's get a nice shot over here as well. And it looks like that first group of orta is going to be running. Get ready, boys! Looks like our boys are trying to get into close combat. Very well, you know what? If that's the case, we'll set them up like this. Make sure they run into position. And even over here, the enemy's doing some damage. Didn't even see our cavalry. Let's bring our cavalry over here. We're going to try to charge the enemy here in the woods. We've already got a few of them here. I don't know why they decided to move in such a weird position, but we're going to switch to charge, and let's charge. We're going to do the same with these guys. We're going to switch to charge and charge into the orta right here. Looks like we got the first enemy line to fall back. Beautiful. We're not finished, though. Not yet. Not by a long shot. I will, however, reassign these men now that the enemy seems to be running. At least that group of the enemy. Look at this massive group here. Bayonets! For the Tsarina! We've got enemy spears here. They are using medieval weapons against us. Whatever works, right? So let's get in here and put an end to it. Show them our bayonets. Show them that the mighty Slavic people can fight just as well in close combat as they can. And here we go, showing them the might of the Russian forces. They will be subjugated or they will be destroyed. That's the situation we've given the enemy. Let's go ahead, cut down the general's bodyguard. We don't need to parley with him or anything. We just need to send him directly off the battlefield. Here we go, guys, and we're giving the Kaznaya Komanda, the Ulans, the chance to murder-fy the enemy here. Yes, I did just say murder-fy. And there we go. Ab al-Khalik Akbari is dead. Never to return. I am worried because our men are still engaged with a few of the enemy units out here, and they are getting some friendly fire occasionally. So let's make sure just to run the enemy down. We don't want another situation where we are besieging a city full of enemies, so we are going to be running the enemy down here. I am sorry for the Arab forces, but we have really no choice. Hurrah! Okay, look at that. Sure enough, they decided to join the battle again. They came back to the fight. This is why we have to be so aggressive here. The Persians are simply unwilling to accept Catherine's offer of a peaceful surrender. We just can't abide that. They can cut them down for the rest of the battle. We want to keep our focus on the remaining enemy. And it looks like just a few left. Look at that, just a few left. I think that of all the units during this battle, it's going to be our cavalry that took the nastiest hits here, just because they put in most of the work. But we absolutely beat the Persians here at their own battle. I don't think they can deny that. They can, however, bring in a tremendous amount of reinforcements for the next fight, and that's obviously going to make our job quite difficult. Now let's keep on going, chasing these fellows here. I am going to still try and get some amazing attacks, run the enemy down, and then, of course, we'll follow up by knocking out their artillery there on the ridge. Believe it or not, the Persians and the Ottomans specifically have some pretty damn good artillery units, I'm not going to lie. Oh! Just one way to cut them off is to go ahead and micromanage one of these attacks. Hurrah! Now the spears will work a lot better. And that's going to be it for the enemy. Just those two artillery pieces up there on the hill. Of course, I don't mind chasing down a few of their forces before we go for them. And they've got an entire group of Zamindari pikemen here. Let's at least get rid of their officers, but I think getting rid of these pikemen is essential. Even though we are, you know, in the 18th century here, pikemen can still do a tremendous amount of damage to us. It is the late 18th, what is it, 1788, 1789, something like that. Let's take a look over there, see if our cavalry... Yep, they're still chasing down the enemy. There we go. There we go. The camel nomads. That's going to have to be the last cavalry unit we have to deal with. And of course, the cannons will come after. But this is a start. This is just a start. See our boys against the camel nomads. Everyone's got a saber in this one, folks. Everyone's got a saber. The only thing I could wish in this mod, would be a blood pack, so that we get a lot of more gore than we've got right now. But this is acceptable. Cavaleria takvadale. Charge in here, of course. And it looks like our men are already winning against the camel nomads. After all, with all those men they lost during the fighting, I can't say that I'm surprised by the enemy losing this fight. Here we go. Look at the cavalry. A few last shots by the enemy artillery, and our cavalry have moved in to finish them off. The true Kazakhs. The Kazaki. This is just wonderful. Now, they've still got to have a few units on the battlefield here. Or maybe not. That's going to be it. Alright, guys. A heroic victory. Not bad. I probably should have chased some additional units and increased the casualties there, but it's pretty hard to beat that. 1,628 enemies killed, only 166 lost on our side. And as you can see, they are running in terror from Ardabil, Azerbaijan. Now, one thing we can do here is burn this building down and just start building an entirely new sort of road here into the rest of the Middle East. I'm thinking this is an option. or we could simply rebuild the military governor's barracks. It's still going to give us repression. It's going to allow us to recruit generals, etc., but we can't get any actual standard Russian troops as far as I can tell. Now, we are extraordinarily lucky not to have the Polish attacking us already, and also extraordinarily lucky to be able to hold on to Stockholm so long. Of course, if we're going to turn Stockholm into one of our capital cities, we're going to have to invest in building everything up. But when you got things like the Royal Palace here, it's really hard to turn these guys down. I just think they're, it's kind of an essential city to have. Now, I am going to also take our forces led by Peter Peskov. We are going to go to Vilnius, Lithuania, and begin the defense here. We'll probably end up just attacking here, but I'm going to let you guys decide in the comments to this video. If you think we should continue this defense or if we should charge right into Vilnius, Lithuania, and potentially get a pretty amazing victory. It's completely up to you guys, my royal council, so I'm really hoping you guys will actually drop some comments down below and share with us why you think that might be important. In the meantime, I am going to start moving some spies and even some gentlemen to the west. We need to get some good old duels going, and the only way to instigate those is to, of course, get some gentlemen into this area and instigate it with the gentlemen of the Polish Confederation here. So let's hope for the best. Let's also hope that the Ottomans don't declare war on us and the Georgians remain friendly with us, because that would be quite a difficult enemy to defeat. Despite Georgia being so small, they've got a hell of a force there, and I wouldn't want to tangle with them. As always, I ask you to please hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. Your likes, your comments mean the future of this series. I can't stress that enough. Thanks so much, guys. Take care, and have a wonderful week.